Salute to everyone who's watching. Today we're going back to dominance. So there are certain skills that you need to learn whilst you're still home, when you're still dependent on your parents. And these are the skills that I am learning or I've learned myself, so that I know that when I'm going out there with a more of an endeavor of my own, I possess these skills. You understand? Because I don't think that people are learning these skills enough. And when they go out there, they struggle. They tend to struggle because of the fact that they didn't learn these skills. And your parents are the ones that are supposed to teach you these skills. But we are not grown from the same kind of environment, because sometimes others are exposed to these skills and others, like, they have to learn from themselves. But in an attempt for you to know, even if your parents are not teaching you, but because of the fact that you are watching this video, you can learn from your own, or you can learn on your own these skills. You understand? Because there are plenty of books, plenty of videos, plenty of things that you need, that you can get, so that you can learn these things. And yeah, let's jump right into it. The first skill that you really need to learn whilst you're still in your parents' house, you need to learn on how to control yourself. What do I mean by saying control yourself? You need to learn on how to say to yourself that there are certain things that you shouldn't do, and there are certain things that you are allowed to do, and there are certain things that you can do. You understand? You see, I know you are all tempted of saying that you want to party and all of that. You understand? And it's okay to party at some point, but you need to know how to control those urges of partying and going out with your friends and spending. You understand? You need to learn on how to control your urges in terms of that, because those things are temporary exposure, or an explosion of oxytocin in your head. You understand? Because the brain loves that feeling that you get when you go out. You understand? But that feeling tends to be temporary, and it associates itself more on moments. And those moments, you want to get them, but they usually cost money. Not all of them, but they usually cost money and time. So you need to know how to control them. So learn on how to control your urges when you are still in your parents' house. The second thing that you need to learn on how to discipline yourself. You see, you need to learn on how to study. You need to learn on how to stay on your books. You need to learn on how to how to how to basically just sit at home and say that, you know what, even though it's Friday night and everyone is going out, I can sit at home. You understand? You need to learn on how to do that. You need to discipline yourself in not buying clothes every month, even though you might have a job, but you need to learn on how to do that. You need to learn on how to discipline yourself. Tell yourself that, you know what, I'm going to be committed to this, or I'm not going to do this. If you because discipline is something that people really struggle with, and I'm telling you right now, learn whilst you are in your parents' house, because you're still in the safety and comfort of your house. The third thing that you need to learn is that you need to learn on how to handle your finances. I'm doing a whole playlist of financial management tips that you could do, but you need to learn on how to manage your finances. You need to learn on how to manage your spending. You need to learn on how to save. You need to learn start your emergency accounts in your parents' house. You understand? Because then you don't have more of a risk than when you are going out there. So that when you go out there, you have a lot of money in your emergency account, other than just starting off whilst you are out there. You understand? An emergency account doesn't need a lot. As long as you still have cents, you can put on a little by little by little, then deposit 50 rands, deposit 20 rands. You understand? But you need to learn on how to do that. Even when it comes to financial risk, you need to learn on how to take more financial risk in your parents' house, because you are still in your parents' house. So that when you go out there, you have the experience of what to do in terms of getting more money, because now when you go out there, whilst you don't have that financial that thing of financial risk, you are experimenting. And the problem with the difference between, or the problem with doing at your home and doing out there, the difference is that no one is going to beg you up. Here, at least when you lose money, you still have your parents so that they can help you. But when you're out there, it's gonna be a problem. You understand? And don't gamble money, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. You see, I hate people who gamble money. I see a lot of a lot of children, not a lot of children, but a lot of people gambling right now, especially in online gambling and all that. I will never recommend anyone to gamble out there. So the fourth thing that you should learn once you're still in your parents' house, you need to learn on how to be a parent. Learn on how to be a parent. I already learned on how to be a father. You understand? I've learned way even before I have a child of my own. You understand? As I did videos, multiple videos on how to be and learn to be a father. You understand? And you need to learn on how to be a parent, learn to be a mother. How can you learn to be a mother? You can take your brother's children, or your little sister or your little brother, or children that surround you, and learn from that. You understand, on being a parent, so that you are more prepared once you get to be a parent to yourself, so that you know that a mother's role is to do this in a child, a father's role is to do this in a child's life, and what are the roles that they can combine together, because you can't combine every single role together. They're individuals and they're combining roles. So the fifth thing that you should be learning whilst you're still in your parents' house is organization. You see, you can never strive in life if you don't have these three things: management, organization, and order. You can never. First of all, how can you make it in life if you don't know how to manage yourself? You don't know how to manage your schoolwork, you don't know how to manage your time, you don't know how to manage your relationships, you don't know how to manage your family time, you don't even know how to manage your development time and your alone time. You need to know how to manage that whilst you're still in your parents' house. You need to know how to organize yourself. You need to know that in your room is a place where it represents who you are. Keep it clean. Keep it as clean as you can. You understand? Because you might not be the neatest person out there, but keep it as neat as you can. And even when you go to, even if when you are going to school, your work should be in an organized way. Even your books should be organized, so that when you look at your room, because when you look at someone else's room that looks like yours, how would you feel about that? You understand? You need to have order. You don't make it in life if you don't have an order. You don't have order, you don't have a structure. There are certain structures that you can but there are certain structures that need to be fixed. You understand? And if you don't fix those structures and make them in order, you're gonna live in a chaotic life. I hope you get that in mind. The sixth thing is that you need to learn on how to manage your relationships. I'm talking about friends and intimate relationships, and family as well. You see, when you're still in your family, that is when you get the most exposure to your family. You understand? You need to have family. I know these days that you are obsessed with social media, but you need to spend more time with your family in terms of physically. Physically, you understand? You might not like everyone in your family, but there are certain people that really enjoy your presence. Make time for those people, because those people are very much important in your life. You need to learn on how to discern in friendships, even in relationships. You need to learn on relationships. I have a whole channel that teaches you on relationships, other than just you experimenting, just see. You have no idea about relationships. That's why right now you're just having sex, and you're people are ladies are becoming single mothers and deadbeat mothers and deadbeat fathers as well. You understand? So the seventh thing that is most important is that you need to learn on emotional intelligence. You need to learn on how to control your emotions. Like, you need to know how to know when to be emotional for what, when, and how. You can't just be emotional every time someone disagrees with what you're saying. You can't just cry out when your boyfriend is telling you that, is asking you that, you confronting you and telling you that, who is that guy. You can't just cry every time that. You can't just cry every time your work is not due, that you didn't do and you procrastinated and now they want your assignment tomorrow. You can't just cry every time that happens. You need to learn on how to emotionally stabilize yourself. The eighth, and probably it shouldn't be the first, the eighth one is that you need to know on how to fix yourself spiritually. Even though not everyone is a believer, but you believe in something, a higher place than yours. I believe in God. I believe in His word. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I do live videos to explain that in further detail, because He knows better than me, so why not trust Him? So I learned, and I'm still learning even now, that um I have to fix myself in that category. You understand? I have to fix you. I need to read more about God, because we are more in God's character than ourselves. When we go away from God's character, that is when um, we screw up in life. You understand? So those are 8 categories in your life that you need to learn whilst you're still at home. Comment below on more. I know there are definitely more, but these are the essential 8 that I think you should learn by now. Because I could say that you should learn a martial arts, you should fail. You understand? You can learn all of those things, but you need to learn the ninth one as well. And it is a bonus. You need to learn on how to be alone. Learn to be happy alone. You shouldn't be lonely. You should learn when you are still at home to be alone, so that when you're going out there and you are alone, it doesn't affect you as much. Because if you don't learn to be alone in your house, you tend to do certain things that show that you're desperate for attention from other people. You understand? So it's an all one type of thing. You need to be alone in a whole way. So don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below. And always remember, /tag so just reach you out.